What's going on YouTube? This is the Rogue Ranger here, and after watching Death Battle's third video on Goku vs. Superman, I thought I'd add my 2 cents onto the subject. It's irrelevant. It was irrelevant back then, and it's still irrelevant now, and I'm going to tell you why. Goku vs. Superman is one of the weirdest obsessions on the internet, and honestly, it's pretty childish how the fans act like it's a necessity that their character is stronger than the other to claim the title of the strongest, completely ignoring the meaning behind their stories. Being the strongest does not make you Whoops, sorry, had to do it. But seriously, do these fans ever acknowledge that these two characters aren't even the strongest in their respective verses, or the fact that both characters have had their ass kicked multiple times in their respective history? Goku has lost to Master Roshi, Mercenary Tao, Tien, Demon King Piccolo, Raditz, Beerus, Hit, Brawly, and Frieza recently. And the Man of Steel has been beaten by Batman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, General Zod, Mongol, the Anti-Martyr, Doomsday, and even Muhammad Ali has taken a W over Superman. Hell, even some of their greatest battles they had help and assists, but those are hardly brought up. Now I get that Death Battle sets them at their peak, but in fiction that's honestly dependent on the needs of the story. These characters will always be as strong as the writers need them to be for whatever story is being written. If you look back at both characters' conceptions, they were nowhere near as powerful as they are now, and definitely weren't intended to get this powerful. But due to serial escalation and constantly raising the stakes of their respective stories, they've naturally had to become powerful enough to match that level of power, whether through training, new powers, or whatever random way to power them up to the level necessary. It's not even just them. Anyone remember how Frieza went from losing to Super Saiyan Goku on Namek to overpowering Super Saiyan Blue Goku with just 4 months of training and unlocking a new form, with the never before mentioned excuse of he's a mutant of his race that never even needed to train before? Stories like theirs have often escalated what came before to exceed what viewers would expect to excite readers. Both DC Comics and Dragon Ball raised their cosmic hierarchies, introducing new opponents to face and overcome. Take Dragon Ball for example. Goku went from becoming the strongest martial artist on Earth to fighting intergalactic conquerors to defeating end-rich abominations threatening the universe to now battling multiversal gods. Let's remember, neither character actually even wants to be the strongest. Superman just wants to protect the world, and being that strong is required of him, while Goku just wants to continuously self-improve. In fact, once Goku surpasses an opponent's strength, he somewhat loses interest in them and is on to the next. Case in point, throughout the original run of Dragon Ball, when Goku trained under someone, it didn't take him long to surpass them, be it Roshi, Korin, Mr. Popo, Kami, and King Kai. However, in Super, because they gotta keep the goal long term, even though Super Saiyan God Goku was stated to be a 6 to Beerus's 10, even after several power-ups, he's still nowhere near strong enough to get him to fight seriously. Being the quote-unquote strongest has been problematic for both characters, as writers struggle to keep their stories interesting. For example, in Goku's case, GT turned him into a kid to make things challenging for him, or with Super, they made him so arrogantly cocky of his own power that he gets caught lacking way more than he should. As for Superman, when he does lose, it's often called bull, and his characterization has taken a blow due to writers recently only being able to utilize him as an overwhelming villain against weaker heroes. Now, if you clicked on the video because you wanted my honest opinion on who'd win, sorry Goku fans, but it's definitely Superman. Now, before you hit the dislike button and click off the video, hear me out. Most will say it's because Superman overpowers Goku in strength, but in my opinion, that's the least of Goku's worries. Strength and power isn't everything. Both Superman and Goku have beaten opponents stronger than themselves, and in a fight there's other factors that can affect the outcome that Superman has over Goku. First off, Superman has a healing factor, and his energy is regulated. As long as they're under the yellow sun, Kryptonians can heal from most damage in moments and renew their stamina and powers. Green kryptonite is lethal and weakens him. However, once he's out of its exposure, Superman's healing factor immediately gets rid of any negative effects, putting him back in good condition. Wonder Woman once slit Superman's throat, not to defeat him, but to buy time. And General Zod, another Kryptonian, once used a mirror to heat vision into his own head to remove a kryptonite bomb implanted by Amanda Waller. Saiyans, on the other hand, don't recover anywhere near as fast without a senzu bean, such as both times Goku was out of commission during the Namek saga, or after fighting Cell, Goku couldn't even keep up with a Cell Jr., and after his first use of Ultra Instinct, even with Frieza sparing some energy, he still needed time to recover his full strength. We can use Buu as an example. It's not a one-to-one, but it's close enough to make my point. Half the time, Goku and the Z Fighters had the power to beat Buu, but because his ridiculous regeneration, he kept coming back. Essentially, Superman will maintain his strength, stamina, and health for better and longer than Goku can sustain his ki. Yes, Goku is strong enough to make Superman expend more energy than he can recover, but by then Goku himself would be running on empty. Secondly, as Death Battle confirmed, yes, Superman has more experience than Goku, but some people don't really understand the full scope of that. Yes, Goku has fought against a variety of enemies, but at the end of the day, in the Dragon Ball franchise, most of the fighting comes down to martial arts and ki control, which Goku is a master of. However, take every opponent Goku has fought, and Superman has already fought similar and for far longer. Goku fought Vegeta, Superman fought Zod. Goku fought Frieza, Superman fought Mongol. Goku fought Android, Superman fought Cyborg Superman. Goku fought Majin Buu, Superman fought Imperiex. Goku fought Goku Black, Superman fought Ultraman. Goku fights Broly, Superman fights Doomsday. Goku fights gods, Superman fights Darkseid, a new god, and he's even fought his own Kryptonian gods. Superman's opponents also often have more diverse range of abilities and powers than martial arts and ki control. Speaking of martial arts, yes, Superman is a trained martial artist. Having been trained by Batman and Wonder Woman, he's learned boxing from Wildcat, he's been a gladiator on World, and he knows how to target pressure points. But in the end, Goku is still a better martial artist. However, it's his only real advantage over Superman, and some of y'all really think that's gonna save him. Y'all may not realize it, but martial arts is limited to hand-to-hand combat. Once you introduce superpowers into these types of battles that aren't dependent on hand-to-hand, martial arts starts becoming mad and consequential. Matter of fact, how is martial arts going to help when Superman can pull a flash and accelerate his molecules to become intangible? And if being a master martial artist really did carry that much, then characters like Captain America wouldn't need his shield and Batman wouldn't need his gadgets. Superman has fought against psychic attacks on his mind and consistently outsmarts Mr.
Mixel-Plick?
No! Repeat after me, bright boy. It's mix. Yes. Split. Lick.
I ain't pronouncing that. A fifth-dimensional imp that can manipulate reality-altering logic. Goku's definitely not handling these types of threats. Superman's intelligence makes it so he'll definitely fight smarter than Goku. He regularly scans his opponents and surroundings for weaknesses or anything he could take advantage of, and even when his powers are severely weakened, he can still come up with a strategy to win. When Superman fought Wraith, an alien with a physiology similar to his own but stronger due to absorbing not only sunlight, but the energy from the entire electromagnetic spectrum, Superman lures him into the space between Earth's upper and lower mantle, where the magnetic force from Earth's iron core disrupts both their powers, leaving them on equal grounds, which Superman proceeds to curve stomp him. Once, while his powers were nearly gone, he fought a copy of himself and used its super hearing against it. He's fought without his super senses multiple times. Here he fights a creature that's invisible to all his senses, but uses the electronic devices to see it. Or the time he fought the Superman Revenge Squad, who General Zod was a part of, while blind. If he can't overpower an opponent, he's damn sure smart enough and resourceful to figure something out. And third, his willpower. Now, I'm definitely not saying Goku has a weak will or anything like that, but Superman has been shown repeatedly to have the willpower to push himself, his body, and his abilities beyond their limits. What cements this for me is Superman's iconic fight with Doomsday, where he pushes himself so much so to defeat that monster that he died from the wounds and overexertion. Taking the saying fighting until his last breath literally. Let me reiterate, they killed each other through bludgeoning. Not an energy blast that disintegrates, but with brute force. Do you know how crazy that is? And they both had healing factors. Goku has never pushed himself to actual death before. Now, last thing I want to talk about is the worst thing to come out of Superman vs. Goku, and that's the response to it. I know it's the internet, but the Goku fans, you know who you are. Y'all need to calm down with the attacking of Superman's character. It's petty and sad. When you guys finally accepted that Goku would lose a fight against Superman, y'all stooped to calling Goku better written and complaining that Superman didn't earn his powers or whatever to grasp at shallow victories. I get it, we all grew up on Dragon Ball Z, so our inner child holds on to the idea that Goku's the strongest, and it comes as a blow that this guy who we don't have much of an attachment to and sometimes wear his underwear on the outside is the real strongest. But to lash out and hate on Superman, calling him a trash character for that, is just too much. Unlike Goku, Superman goes out of his way to help people, not when it comes knocking on his front door. Superman has helped people in ways Goku doesn't. While fighting threats, he tries to make sure that civilians are safe even at the cost of himself. He's helped a pregnant woman stuck on the road having car trouble deliver her baby. When a boy whose mother was being assaulted by his father called out for help, Superman appeared and helped stop someone from ending it all. Obviously, the Man of Steel trains, but not just for self-improvement, but to also make sure he doesn't tear the world he loves so much around him apart like a wet napkin. After hearing all that and asked if between Goku and Superman to be brought into the real world, who'd help us more, I'm pretty sure the answer is obvious. He's without a doubt a better hero than Goku, and to slander him for being quote-unquote the strongest shows how much you guys know nothing of Superman. I know it's easier to watch an anime rather than picking up a comic book, but you never know what new interests you might find. It's how I became a Superman fan myself. And no, you don't have to read it all. A quick Google search of his best stories, pick 3 that sound interesting, or, just watch the animated series. This has been the Rogue Ranger. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.